Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing very well. It is Friday, the weekend time. Yeah, Friday, weekend time. Time to have fun on the weekend. Yeah, get it in, get it in. Y'all, we got so much to cover. Welcome to my live. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Who we talking about? Donald Trump. Donald Trump and his goonies. Yes, Donald Trump and his cabinet. They are a hot ghetto mess. When I mean ghetto, I mean ghetto. Donald Trump and his cabinet members are ghetto. There's no other way to put it. He's making the White House ghetto. Hello, King Allen. Hit that like button as you are coming in. Hey, Friday party time. Anyway, if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Yes, you can send me super chats and super stickers to donate to my channel. Also, in my description is my Venmo and my PayPal link. So if you have Venmo and PayPal, you can bless me that way too. Y'all, when I tell y'all Donald Trump is showing out, there's no other way to put it. Because right now, Trump will negotiate with Hamas, Putin, and North Korea, but will not negotiate with the Democrats. That's where we are today. Yes, happy Friday, everybody. America, we're going to have to make some serious choices. Are we going to continue to let the MAGA Republican Party beat us down, take away benefits from the people that we love and care about? Or are we going to fight back? Because we're going to have to fight back. Because Donald Trump is hurting the American people. He doesn't plan on leaving that White House anytime soon. He thinks he's going to be in that White House for the rest of his dusty days. That's why he's having them tearing down part of the White House so they can get to the bunkers and build new bunkers down at the bottom of the White House because he planned on staying there. Donnie, if a war does come, you old and stale cookie, they just going to blow you away. I don't see anybody protect you and allowing themselves to get hurt. Don't protect him. Let Satan, Satan supposed to be the strongest thing around. He ain't strong. Donnie, you weak. The Antichrist is not strong, y'all. Donnie is the Antichrist in my opinion. But we're going to have to show Donald Trump that the American people are stronger than him and his goonies. All right, all right, all right. We're going to discuss Letitia James. Yes, our girl Letitia James. She spoke today, and she is powerful. She's not allowing Donald Trump to back her into a wall because Donnie is a nobody. He's just somebody that came from reality TV that conned his way to the top. And because he conned his way to the top, it is easy for him to fall. It's nothing special about Donald Trump. Hello, King Jim. How you doing, baby? We're going to talk about some of the AIPAC, the Israelis trying to mess with our election. We're going to speak and hear about Trump finds money to pay ICE, but won't use funds to insure SNAP. Everything we talk about today is pertaining to Donald Trump. That's what we're talking about. We're going to even get into some Epstein stuff. So I'm going to give you the regular news about Trump first, and then we'll get on over to the Epstein stuff because there's a lot of stuff about Epstein. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Again, I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. Hit that like button as you are coming in, baby. I thank you, and I appreciate you coming to my live. Hit the like button, please. I have my hair in a ponytail today. It was rather hot when I went walking earlier, so y'all just got to deal with my ponytail because I sweated my hair out. So we're going to be getting started. Everything I show is fair use, great for educational purpose, great for entertainment purpose, and great for research. What are we doing in my chat? We are doing research, beautiful people. Yes, fair use. Everything I show you in every one of my lives is fair use, and in my shorts, all fair use. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to take a listen to what is being said about the rural areas that voted for Donald Trump.
Rural Americans in this clip voted for Donald Trump, and now they cannot afford to eat. He promised he was going to make these people's lives better and fix all of the problems they are facing. However, he has done the exact opposite. Everything has gotten worse.
How big of a problem hunger is in rural America? Spend time at a mobile food bank.
It's 90% of what I consume. And I don't keep the car running. I can't afford the gas, so I have sleeping bags to stay warm.
I still feel bad that that I have to come up here and sit down in line, to get food. It's embarrassing as hell.
While Americans are struggling to afford gas, food, and rent, Trump has found time to do just about everything else except for his job, including giving $40 billion to Argentina. He's also found the time to demand $230 million in taxpayer money for himself. And of course, he's got plenty of time to destroy the entire east wing of the White House and replace it with a ballroom that's modeled after one of Putin's palaces. But he can't find the time or compassion to reopen the government or extend ACA tax credits that many of his rural supporters rely on to survive. This is what happens when leadership becomes a vanity project. Trump isn't governing, he is indulging himself. He's treating the presidency like a personal empire with luxury renovations and giving foreign strongmen billions of dollars. Meanwhile, his very own supporters are standing in food lines saying they can't afford gas or groceries. It's not like he doesn't have the time or resources to fix this stuff, it's that he simply doesn't want to or care. These rural Americans in this clip voted for Donald Trump, and now they can't.
Donald Trump said, F your snap. Donald Trump don't care about you, MAGA. He don't care about you, baby. I've been on here trying to tell you for a long time. He said, F you. You hungry. I ain't hungry. Me and Barron and Melania, we ain't hungry. Don Jr., we ain't hungry. Donald Trump says, F your snap. He don't care about you. Donald Trump do not care about the American people. He more worried about fixing a ballroom in the bunkers up under the ballroom where he gonna go hide because he's starting so much SHAT with all these other countries and they gonna come for our necks. He gonna go in the bunkers. Donald Trump said, F your snap. So Queen Latisha James, let's take a listen to what's going on with her, okay?
Some breaking news, fast-moving news about Letitia James, the fighter, the New York Attorney General, who has been framed in a mortgage fraud indictment. She appeared in court today in Virginia, and she's already let the court know, and she's already filed multiple motions against the Department of Justice, against Donald Trump, against Lindsey Halligan, and in a little bit of turnabout is fair play, she's used a recent report by Anna Bauer, the journalist, in which Lindsey Halligan contacted her sort of in the middle of the night and started texting her about the case as grounds for a motion to gag Lindsey Halligan if she even survives the first motion to have her removed as a prosecutor outright. This is the fighting Letitia James that Donald Trump feared. He should fear her. He's gone after the wrong person. The roles are now going to be reversed, with the Attorney General going after the prosecutor and hitting her with everything that she has. The first motion is a motion to dismiss because Lindsey Halligan has been improperly, illegally appointed to be the U.S. Attorney, and therefore the motion asks for two things: the complete dismissal of the indictment, and if their judge isn't inclined, Jamar Walker, the judge, inclined to actually dismiss the indictment, then to ban, to block, to enjoin, to stop Lindsey Halligan from indicting anyone, from leading any prosecution. We got some breaking news, fast-moving news about Letitia James, the fighter, the New York Attorney General, who has been framed in a mortgage fraud indictment. She appeared in court today in Virginia, and she's already let the court know, and she's already filed multiple motions against the Department of Justice, against Donald Trump, against
Oh, Donnie boy, you know what? You lost against Queen Latisha James already, and you still want to come for her. That's why you owe, what is it, $380 million? Or is it 83 million, 384, something like that, to E. Jean Carroll? You just don't know when to stop, Donnie. Letitia James has not broken any laws. That's why the first Attorney General that you tried to get to go against her, he said no. And you badgered that man so much that he resigned because he could not find a crime that Letitia James is supposed to have done. So now you go and get this inexperienced woman that was an insurance attorney to try to go after her, and she don't have it together because she doesn't know what she's doing, Donnie boy. Get somebody that's experienced. All you ever do, Donald Trump, is appoint people that are not experienced for the job. And that's why Letitia James is going to walk. She's going to walk. Because she outsmart you, Donnie. You would never be able to outsmart a black woman. It ain't going to happen. Not on my watch, boy. Donnie, boy, go change your diaper. We smell you, and we don't want to smell you no more, boy. We're going to listen to some more of Letitia James. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. Because I got a sermon for y'all tonight. Stay put. One moment, please. How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing fabulous on this Friday evening. I got something to show you. Letitia James is speaking, so when she speaks, we listen. This is from Midas Touch Network, and the other video was Midas Touch Network and Unite Now. Please subscribe to Unite Now and follow Unite Now on Instagram. Subscribe to Midas Touch Network and follow them on YouTube and Instagram both, okay? I love her.
I want to thank all of you.
Letitia James, Attorney General, New York.
So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your prayers. I want to thank you for your emails. I want to thank you for your support. It has strengthened my spirit and it has anchored my soul. So I want to thank you. But this is not about me. This is about all of us. And about a justice system which has been weaponized. A justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge. This justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge. And a weapon against those individuals who simply did their job and who stood up for the rule of law. And a justice system which unfortunately is nothing being used as a vehicle of retribution. But my faith is strong. And my faith is, I have this belief in the justice system, in the rule of law, and I have a belief in America and all of its individuals who have stood with me, not only in New York, but all across this nation. I've heard from just about every jurisdiction in this nation who have said, stand up and be tall. And never ever cow down or back down or break or bend. So there's no fear today. No fear. No fear. No fear. No fear. Because I believe that justice will rain down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
She's powerful. She's like me. She ain't afraid. Women are powerful. We're not afraid. He even is now going after who? Nancy Pelosi. Donnie, leave Nancy Pelosi alone. Sometimes she pisses me off, but Nancy Pelosi ain't bothering nobody. Now, she gonna read you down and tell you to shut up. Now, I agree with her because the lady that was bothering her, I understand. Leave Nancy Pelosi alone. Leave Letitia James alone. You are a bully, Donald Trump. You are a fat, funky bully. Learn your place. Zip it. With those paper-thin lips, zip it. Yeah, your D-suckers, Donnie, zip them, please. One moment, please. Now, Donnie boy, he wants to go after Canada, too. He's mad about the ad. Get over yourself, Donnie. Nobody's impressed with you. They don't like you. Pam Bundy don't like you. She got to pretend she like you. You effing up her career. Of course, she cannot possibly like you, Donald Trump.
Months, we have stressed the importance of distinguishing things we can control and things we can't control. We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that that policy has fundamentally changed from the policy in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And it's a situation where the United States has tariffs against every one of their trading partners to different degrees. And it's in that context that our officials, my colleagues, have been working with their American colleagues on detailed, constructive negotiations, discussions on specific transactions, specific sectors, steel, aluminum, and energy. And a lot of progress has been made. And we stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions, because it will be for the benefit of workers in the United States, workers in Canada, and families in both of our countries. Now, what we can control, absolutely, is how we build here at home. And that's the focus of Budget 2025, generational investment here in Canada. And what we can also control, or at least heavily influence, is developing new partnerships and opportunities, including with the economic giants of Asia, which is the focus of this trip. For months, we have...
Donald Trump has burnt every bridge with our allies. Every one of our allies, he has burned bridges with them. Even the president of Italy, she can't stand him. She roll her eyes up and down. She's disgusted with him and his body, his smell and all. Donnie, nobody likes you. You making it worse. Canada is known as our best friend. You effed up that too. You are a F up, Donnie. One moment, please. Let's listen to President Reagan. The video, the ad that Canada made, they was only using President Reagan's voice, his comments, what he said about the terrorists, and Donnie mad. Donnie, I thought you said you look up to Reagan. You try to use some of his language, but you're not good at it. You can't even get that right. You and Melania steal people's words, and you can't get it right after you steal it from them.
Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization.
One moment. Now I'm going to show you the ad that Canada did. Hold on, okay? I'll show you the ad that Canada actually did, okay? Just a moment. Bear with me. Y'all got to find the ad, okay? How y'all doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a marvelous Friday evening. Hold on. I got to find the ad to Canada. Just a moment. Bear with me because I have to find that ad. I saved it. It's just I have so much saved, you all, that I got a lot to look through. A lot to look through. Hold on. Bear with me. Okay, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. Oh, I can't wait. I just ran across something that I can't wait to show y'all about Bear and Trump. Okay, this is an ad that Canada did. And they spent, what, $75 million doing this ad? But it's their money. And now all they did was use what Reagan has said. And Reagan made a valuable point. Tariffs hurt Americans. It hurts our country.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
That is all that Canada said. But Donnie is offended by that. In my chat, tell me, is there anything about this ad that the Canadians did, the Canadian PM did? No, there's nothing wrong with this ad. They used Reagan's words. It's the truth. The tariffs are hurting America. I suppose it went live early, but I was too busy online looking for stuff to shop and buy. It's holiday time coming, and I like to get children's stuff. When I tell you the prices of everything is double what it was originally, really triple. They're making a valuable point. Canada is not lying. And as they said, they're going to get their stuff from Asia, which a lot of people already started doing it. Nobody is effing with America. And Donald Trump is okay with that. But what these nickel-poop millionaires are not thinking about, when you break the people below you, the regular average working person, who's going to buy your products? They're stupid. The rich is dumb. And that's why Donald Trump said he ran as a Republican. Trump didn't lie about the MAGA Republicans. Hold on. Listen what he said.
Back in 1998, Donald Trump reportedly said, if I were to run for office, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific. Looks like Trump revealed his playbook long before he ever ran. Did you know back in 1998, Donald Trump reportedly said, if I were to run for office, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific.
And they have done exactly that. They eat up every word Donald Trump put out. Donald Trump can say Melania Trump is pregnant. They would believe it. They run all over town saying that she's pregnant. Donald Trump can say that Kamala Harris gave him some candy. They would believe it, and it's a lie. They believe anything this man says. Anything. That Donald Trump told them he's their savior. And those fools really believe that Donald Trump is their Lord and Savior. They believe Donald Trump is a second coming. Y'all are pathetic. I'm just being honest. He already think you're dumb and stupid, but you're pathetic also. Let me see what's being said in the chat. Hello, Queen Caramel Apple. Straight facts, isn't it? Thank you, Leo, King Leo Darden. Thank you so much. Thank you. I understand, KM, you're right. How can anyone, MAGA, be okay with this? The jobs are abysmal in the U.S., If Biden had job numbers like these, they'll be outraged. They'll go tear up the White House. But no, Donald Trump can just screw them with no Vaseline, and they're okay with it. They're not going to do anything. They like to be abused. I learned that about MAGA. They like to be abused. I said that from day one. They enjoy being abused. King Allen says at roast, it's obvious he has medical issues, serious medical issues. I think he got mental issues too, in my opinion. Donald Trump is mentally ill, in my opinion. I honestly think Donald Trump is schizophrenic. That's my opinion. Something is wrong there. It is something mentally going on with Donald Trump. I don't know if it's dementia, because his father had frontal dementia. Joe Pratt said, girl, you is the only show. Okay. Hey, King Joe Craft. He said, girl, you is the only show I look at from start to finish. I can tell you got a good heart and hope you got a good man because you deserve it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I do. I love all of you. I even love MAGA, but they disgust me. I won't lie. They're pathetic, but I love them because I can't get to heaven hating them. Sometimes I want to wring their necks, but hey, it is what it is. Sometimes I'm going to read them down my chat. KM said, U.S. trade is dying. International trading partners are just going to go elsewhere. Manufacturing is not coming back here. Job growth is in the toilet. America's dying. I thank you. I be trying to tell them that. They want to beat me up in the chat when I'm only telling the truth because it's going to help us. We need help. It don't matter what race you are, color you are, culture you from. We need help in America. But no, he's going to give our funds to Argentina, to Israel, while we suffer. But I learned you cannot preach to MAGA. They don't comprehend. They rode the slow bus. I love them anyway, but they rode the slow bus. You know, you got to pray for them and keep it moving. Icarus, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Please don't get mad at me. ICARUS says exactly because who would do business with us and how will we pay for them? I know, baby. I know. We just can't drop our crowns. We got to keep trying. We cannot drop our crowns because of Donald Trump is effing over us and other countries as well. He burned every bridge. We have nobody to go to. And, well, that's your opinion, Pat M. MacD. I don't know how to say your last name. Excuse me, you all. Like Alan said, elections are 3 years away. But right now we're having special elections. And I tried to go today, but they moved my voting place somewhere else. So I'm going to have to see if I can go early in the morning, if they'll let me vote in the morning. They doing early special elections here too, so. And I don't want to wait. This is early voting. I don't want to wait till November the 4th because that line is going to be so long, and I just rather get out there and get it over with. Alan, you're right. It would be nice to have a president that can think. Yes. Hello, King Edward Thornton. How you doing? Carol Mare Apple, Queen Carol Mare Apple says, don't forget my girl, Jasmine Crockett. She brings the receipts. She brings the receipts and she brings the truth. And I love Jasmine Crockett. Y'all, Jasmine Crockett, I love that woman. I love her. I love her. Yes, Orlando Pacheco. Yes, hold on, the thing moved. That's what I hate about it, to move while you're reading. He says that he or she, I don't know which one you are, so I don't want to disrespect you, says that the Attorney General, Letitia James, loves people in general, but real close to Puerto Ricans. She will get the case thrown out. We're praying for her. Yes, God be with her. God be with her. Hey, Yolanda Williams, how you doing, beautiful queen? Nice photo. Ramon says Donald Trump's great-grandfather was a draft dodger from Germany. That is true, and that's why Donald Trump is like that, because it is in his blood to be a draft dodger. It's in him to be, y'all. It is. It is. So we're going to continue on. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Please hit that like button for me, please. If you want to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers and get your membership. I have the Ruby's membership for $4.99. I have the Diamonds membership for $9.99. Members get things firsthand. They get things that the regular viewers and subscribers would never see. So get your membership. Again, if you like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. Come on, make my night. Okay, we're going to continue, okay? One moment, please. I have so much to show y'all. Do y'all want to listen to about Barron Trump first? Hold on, let me find it about Barron Trump. Something a little different, because I don't want us to get in a sad mode, because it's really easy to get in a slump and become depressed with everything that is going on in our country. Sometimes I just have to shut it out, and I don't even want to talk about it. So Barron Trump, what's the tea? These are not my words, but I will say allegedly for this man, because what he's about to say, I'm going to say allegedly for him. Barron, is Carlos a brown or black man? Inquiring minds want to know. The whole wing was smelling like Badusi. Barron said, lay your head on my pillow. Barron, was you a pillow princess biting a pillow? Talking about mud on a stick, y'all. Like father, like son. So let's take a listen, okay?
3 breaking stories this week on Barron Trump. 1, it looks like he's going to get a very high-paid job at TikTok. 2, he's being investigated for insider trading on cryptocurrencies. And 3, he caused chaos at Trump Tower when he closed a whole 4th floor so that he could have a private meeting with his new boyfriend, Carlos.
Listen, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
There were 3 breaking stories.
Listen carefully.
Trump. 1, it looks like he's going to get a very high-paid job at TikTok. 2, he's being investigated for insider trading on cryptocurrencies. And 3, he caused chaos at Trump Tower when he closed a whole 4th floor so that he could have a private meeting with his new boyfriend, Carlos.
Listen, wait a minute.
Boom! Y'all know that's been rumored, and everything that's alleged. Y'all know it's been rumored about Barron Trump. He likes the boys, and there's nothing wrong with being gay. I love my gays. There's nothing wrong with it. But Trump them love to throw the Bible at everybody about being gay. But the whole MAGA Republican Party, those men like to put eggplant in their mouth. So I guess he got it honestly from his pappy. Well, Elon Musk wasn't standing up for nothing. He was getting angry when Donnie was giving other people attention. Elon couldn't take being second best to anybody else. Stephen Miller, what's up? How those knee pads fit? Oh, I bet you take his bald head right there where there ain't no hair, because, you know, he got a 10 head, not a 4 head. And he rubs it on Donnie's nuts. He like nut sacks from what I heard, allegedly. But anyway, let's move along. I just got to give y'all that little gossip. You know, get a good laugh. I told you I'd give y'all some comedy. You know I do. So it is being said that JD Fancy Pants, his wife is sick of him, allegedly. Well, the White House panics. JD Vance's wife threatens to file for divorce. All right. One moment, please.
JD Vance is in the news for the wrong reasons, and that is because apparently to Jen Psaki, see here, Usha Vance, wife of JD Vance, is reportedly seeking a divorce. Jen Psaki has revealed, and the right is flipping out over this revelation, not because JD Vance may be in an unhappy marriage, not because Usha Vance might be wanting to leave JD Vance because of some of the things he said. I'll show you those in just a moment, but because Jen Psaki had the gall to say it. I also have Nick Fuentes, far-right agitator, racist, Nazi, who's attacking JD Vance from the right, saying that JD Vance is fake and everything he said about himself is made up. Let's get to Nick Fuentes first. Here's Nick Fuentes exposing exposing JD Vance for being fake.
You go through his life story and you realize that everything about him is fake. His time in the military, fake. They say he's a Marine. Look up his role in the Marines. He was a correspondent, a combat correspondent, which means he wrote press releases for the military. So he's a fake Marine. He goes to Yale Law School. He meets Peter Thiel. He meets other people. His first job in tech, it's a biotech firm. The CEO says he only hired Vance as a favor to Peter Thiel. That was his first job. He graduates from law school and then works for a biotech firm. How does a law school graduate go to work for a biotech firm? Well, the guy that hired him tells us he hired him as a favor to Thiel. Then Vance works at a series of venture capital firms. First, he works for Thiel for about 7 months while he drops his book. Then he works for the founder of AOL at a company called Revolution. Then he starts his own venture capital firm with money from Peter Thiel. 3 firms in 5 years. When he was at Peter Thiel's firm, his colleagues say they never saw him in the office. When he was at Revolution, his boss, the founder of AOL, this guy Case, says Vance didn't do much. Inexplicably, he raises over $120 million at his firm, mostly from Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, and others. So he's a fake venture capitalist. Then, even though he opposed Trump from the very beginning, Peter Thiel organizes a meeting with Vance and Trump in 2021 to smooth things over. And then in 2021, Vance declares his candidacy for Senate of Ohio. Peter Thiel makes the biggest contribution of any individual donor in a Senate race in American history of $15 million. Thiel, with his connections, secures Trump's endorsement, and Vance becomes a senator. So he's a fake Marine, he's a fake venture capitalist, and then he's a fake MAGA senator. Now he's the vice president of the United States. Even his name is fake. He didn't go by Vance until he was 30 years old. Vance was the name of his Meemaw, and he changed his name to Vance just a few years before he published his book, which had been in the works for as much time, about his Meemaw, his story that gives him the credibility. For 30 years, he was J.D. Hamill and went by other names.
Whoa! How did I not know that? How did
I
not
knew
know
it.
that JD Vance was JD Hamill? Did you know that?
What?
I think I heard about that, but I didn't know that specifically. That's incredible.
Y'all remember?
Scary.
I showed y'all that on this channel. He has had 3 different names. Why did you change why did you change your names, J Vance? My skin is rather oily today, but it's okay. And thank you for the compliment. Somebody told me I had nice skin in the chat. Was you trying to hide the life you had when you was I don't even know if you call him trans or what, drag queen? Are you trying to hide that? And that's why you keep changing your name, JD Vance? Because you used to wear a blonde wig and dress as a female and carry a purse. You can't hide that because we already have seen the photos, boy. Come on. JD Fancy Pants. You already admitted you humped the couch. And that doesn't sound normal. So are you schizophrenic? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in that White House. Everybody in the White House seem to have like some kind of mental issues, in my opinion. But let's continue.
That Nick Fuentes, who is looking very gay in this pause video, is a very, very well-spoken, I think, charismatic individual, and that is scary all around.
Hit the like button, please.
Good at telling a story as he is. But that being said, is it anyone's surprise that someone who faked his way to where he is today, who perhaps he was in love with Usha when they met. Perhaps Usha was actually in love with JD Vance.
He was confused by his sexuality.
That all the lies, that all of the fakery is the reason why Usha is unhappy? Could be. Could be. I mean, look at this photo here. It says, baby, this is 6 months. This is 6 months. 6 months of the Trump administration. I actually do believe that, and hate me for saying it, I don't think she's a bad woman. I think she is caught up in something she didn't mean to get caught up in. Of course, we're all adults. We all have free will. I think she's trying to stick around for the kids. To be completely honest, I could be wrong. That's just my judgment from the outside looking in. Now, unlike me, who's just hypothesizing on a YouTube channel, Jen Psaki has some inside information about what's going on with Usha Vance. And here's what she had to say.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, JD Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come.
I don't
over
believe the
here.
marriage
We'll
real.
save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
He's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah. And ambitious.
And ambitious. And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him.
Yep.
Now, what's also true, though, is J.D. Vance is not, he's in some ways goodish on paper if you like what he believes in. I don't know. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so either.
There's no riz.
It's got no riz, right?
None.
And he just is a little odd. And
Totally.
so Trump's odd in a different way. So I'm skeptical of that. So yeah, he's got to. I mean, everything going on right now, and I think we have to be very clear-eyed about this, is about trying to manipulate the public around elections.
Yeah, so there she is. I mean, this person here says Usha Vance, wife of JD Vance, is reportedly seeking divorce, according to Jen Psaki. JD Vance, who campaigned hard as a family values conservative, now faces a very public, personal upheaval. One person responded to this. I mean, Fox News said, disgusting. MSNBC's Jen Psaki is under fire for suggesting VP Vance's wife, Usha, should blink 4 times like she needs rescuing. As Carrie Lake, I mean, these people are such snowflakes. Jen Psaki's attack on Usha and JD Vance's marriage was despicable, but it shows the desperate situation the Democrats are in. They realize there's no bringing Trump down, so they're starting to focus.
That's Carrie Lake, y'all. Carrie Lake, honey. Girl, you've been cosplaying being a white woman. I saw some of your relatives. You either Latina or you black. Your relatives look like black people. Although I saw some snowflakes too, I did. But Carrie, your skin and hair texture lets me know you're not a white woman. You're just cosplaying, girl. So you can just skate on by and like, hey, they did that back in slavery. They had to color pass. They had to pass, you know. You ain't got to do that no more. Don't nobody got a problem with your skin but you, girl. You've been living as a white woman, in my opinion. But you're not. Black people can tell anybody. A Latin person can tell you're not white, Carrie. And she ain't doing no lot of tanning because I know white girls that tan so dark they look black. I can tell the difference. Carrie Lake. Girl, don't speak on JD Vance. You don't really know him. You know what? Girl, I can look at Usher and tell, whatever her name is, Ursula, and tell she miserable. That woman was a pretty woman, a pretty brown woman. JD Vance have drained the life out that brown woman. He has drained her mentally, emotionally. You can just see it all over the poor girl. She putting on weight. That's a sign. When you hit over 30, I'm 52. When you hit over 30 and you're not happy in a relationship, you're going to put on some weight. Her skin is looking dry. She's stressed. A man's supposed to bring joy into your life. And if you give a woman joy, she's going to give you what you want, give you what you need. Satisfaction guaranteed. Ooh, baby, that come from me. She going to give you what you want, JD. But do you want that? Did you use her to get to where you are? Just because a man is married to a woman doesn't mean a thing, y'all. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. It's so many married people, from the pastors and all, honey. They married, but they like some slang in the wang. Slang that thing. They like eggplant, ping, whatever you want to call it. Then they go home to their wives. They take their lover on vacations. And don't even buy their wife anything. Buy their wife a fake diamond ring. The whole time she walking around thinking it's a real diamond. Girl, that's Moissanite, or it just may be glass, plastic. JD, what's up? Usher, leave him, girl. Leave him. You too pretty. You look bad right now. In the past time they've been in that White House, he got that lady looking bad. She look old, and she's not even old. Pretty brown woman. Stress from a man will suck the life out of you. Y'all women know what I'm talking about. Come on now. JD got her looking real bad, like a silly rabbit.
Hair Lake is insane. I'm grateful they're talking about the next election as if it's going to, because in my little mind, in my little world, I feel like we're going to be fighting to vote. That's how I feel. So that gives me hope. Their insanity gives me hope today. Stephen Chung said, Jen Suki, I don't know what that means. I'm sure it's probably misogynistic, said Jen that she must be transferring her own personal issues on others. Psaki is a dumbass who has no comprehension.
I'm going to shut that down. I'm not going to listen. That lady is not a... I ain't going to listen to them bash that woman, no. I'm all for women. I'm a woman. I'm for women. No, I'm not going to listen to that. JD Vance, something ain't... And what somebody put in my comment, hold on. What's up, King Charles Aldrich? Aldrich, what's going on? Hello, King Brian Poole. I was a comment and I missed it. Dang. Hello, King Shad Shields. Hello, Queen Mary. Hello, Queen Sandra. It was a comment. I apologize. I was trying to catch it. And if I can't read everybody's comments because it goes too fast. And I usually would read if people comments if they sent me super chats or super stickers, but I'm gonna read some anyway. It was a comment that was pertaining to the subject, but it moved too fast, and I apologize. Okay, let's move along, y'all. Well, this is a situation with MAGA. Well, at least this MAGA woman is being honest. It's cruel what she says, but she's being honest. I respect honesty. Hold on. Let's take a listen. Well, at least she's telling the truth about MAGA. Hold on.
Truth is, it's not about God, guns, grocery prices, or health care. We don't even care that he's all over those files. We just want to make America white again. There. I said it. The truth is, it's not about God, guns, grocery prices, or health care. We don't even care that he's all over those files. We just want to make America white again. There. I said it. The truth is... It's
well. Hey, I'm going to respect her truth. That's her truth, y'all. You know, we got to accept people for who they are. She's honest. Is that who you are, MAGA? Just be honest in my chat. Don't front. You ain't got to come on and play with me. Be honest. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Be honest. I love honesty, baby. It's funny to me. Donald Trump already told you the dumbest watch Fox News. There you go. Whoop, there it is. One moment, please. Just a moment. MAGA woman displays violence, but the black person is the one that's considered violent. Take a listen. To me, this woman is a demon. The black person didn't say anything to her. MAGA is off the chain.
Get out of my town!
Yeah, you're about to get more angry. This happened out of Cleveland, Ohio. Listen.
Monkey see, monkey do! I'm done with you violent black men! Get the out of my town! I don't give a fuck what you do! I'm done with you people! Invade my town! I never started slavery! I never started slavery! You know, I don't need
She must be talking about the MAGA Republican men.
Just like me. You're violating me and exploiting me. Damn low life.
That's MAGA, y'all. Just crazy.
That woman needs to be identified, and we need to make sure the world knows who she is. And I spoke with the sister of the man this happened to, and I'm not going to reveal their private life or the things they've been through, but I will say this. You have no clue what people are going through. When you say things like this, you have no clue what people are going through, what they've been through. We can be angry. I'm not against people being angry. I'm not against people having disagreements. I'm not against any of that. But this hate has got to go. It's got to stop. And I know some of you who watch my regular content, you're saying, Robbie, you're covering a lot of this lately. It's because my inbox is overwhelmed. That even I have been naive of how often this is happening. So I want a message to be sent that if you behave this way, the odds of you of ending up on a platform like mine are pretty good. Those moments of ill-advised words can take everything from you. So be smarter. Change who you are. Because it's got to stop.
Say, man. Get out of my town.
That poisonous venom that she spewed out, baby, he's right. It would be nice if she could change, but that's it. It's just in her to be that way. She's not going to change. Only thing that's going to make her change is Jesus Christ come down on this earth and walk and show them that Donald Trump is not their savior. She will change. She's a racist. She's MAGA. They hate brown and black people. But don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Donald Trump already said y'all dumb.
Trump just made one of his most alarming statements yet, saying he doesn't even plan to ask for a declaration of war. He's just going to start aliving more people in Venezuela. Just watch the way he speaks. He is clearly not in his right state of mind right now.
Says, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay.
Make no mistake, this is not policy talk. This is a direct threat of extrajudicial violence. Presidents are supposed to work through Congress before any military action, but Trump is outright dismissing that entire process. Under the U.S. Constitution, only Congress can declare war. What Trump described isn't authorized use of force. It's vigilante warfare on a national scale. He wants to send American troops or maybe even drones into another country to just unalive people without any approval. Not only is that unconstitutional, but it's also a violation of international law. I guess sinking random Venezuelan fishing boats without having any intelligence they were doing anything wrong is not enough for Trump. He now has to escalate that mindset into official doctrine. That's how authoritarian regimes like to justify their own aggression, by redefining unaliving as security. If this is how Trump plans to handle foreign relations, the implications are catastrophic. It could start a regional war, collapse diplomatic ties, and of course put innocent civilians at risk. The world has already unfortunately seen what happens when leaders treat war as a personal project rather than a last resort. Donald Trump just made
I like this young man. Subscribe to United Now. I like him. I'm going to say something. I'm not looking for everybody to agree with me. He has full lips. Full lips. He is a redhead. He got black in him. He has full, beautiful lips. A redhead white man. He has black in him. He has African. I just say African. Not meaning South Africa where the white people, when they took land from the black people, no. He has African in him. He may not even know it. So let's take a listen to this, please, one moment.
On this. Republicans know they don't have the numbers to keep the majority after the midterm. And they certainly don't have him to win a presidential race in 2028. They're preparing for a hostile takeover. Here's their plan in 5 quick steps, and it's ugly. Step 1, when Democrats win elections like Grijalva did in Arizona, they'll just refuse to swear them in. Why? Because they know that that seat equals the 1 vote that threatens what they're hiding. Step 2, they're going to redraw every district line until only Republicans can win them. They'll call it representation. Sane people will call it rigging. Step 3, they're going to claim that every state-run election is rigged. Then they're going to push for federal government to take over the process for security reasons. They're not interested in protecting elections. They're interested in owning them. Step 4, take over the company that counts the votes, Dominion Voting Systems, now bought and rebranded as Liberty Vote, run by a Republican-aligned former official. Step 5, Trump will keep building ICE into his own personal army. Remember, their budget jumped from $9.6 billion to $170 billion. That's more than the military budgets of some entire nations. Because if he's alive in 2028, he's running again. And this time, he'll need to control the elections and the machines that count them. And when people rise up, and they will, he'll already have militarized ICE ready to put it down. When the Republicans delay Democrats from taking their seats and redraw the maps and take over the vote counting machine and push states out of their own elections and ignore the Constitution and arm ICE to the teeth for an uprising, the writing isn't just on the wall, it's carved into it. They're not trying to win votes. They're trying to make your vote irrelevant, and they're building ICE into the blunt instrument that will silence anyone who refuses to accept it. And one more thing, the dark left isn't about being dark. It's about giving a voice to those left in the dark, the unseen and the unheard. We're not the problem. We're the response to it. Together, we are the dark left. Follow me on this. Republicans.
Thank you, King. I like his ball cap, too. He had a crown on that ball cap. That's a king right there. Anyway, I'm going to read some of y'all comments. Someone said, I wish Trump was as cool as the left made him seem. Oh, he's not cool, evil cookie. He's not cool. I guess you're a female, so I'm going to call you queen. I hope I'm not disrespecting you. I saw something earlier, and I didn't get to read it because it's moving so fast. I'm going to say this because it pertained to something I saw early in the chat, but I couldn't catch it because I was showing the video. Gringos, they go to Mexico, Mexicano, and they bring back that stuff. Donald Trump want to put it on every other race and every other culture and color except his own. Even some of y'all live in Mexico and other brown countries and bring that over. But of course, black and brown people going to get blamed for it. When gringos bring it over all the time. Why do you think so many of them are moving to Mexico? Come on. Right now, Mexico wants them out of their country. They're forcing them out of their country. Come on, y'all. Be smarter than that. Donald Trump is full of shit. He just wants to be Hitler so bad, he's willing to hurt all brown and black people. Brown people was here before Europeans came, white people. Oh, I got a video about that. And black people, some of us was here before too. Where is that video? Because I really want to show that one, Lord. Hold on, let me find that video. We got to get some history up in here, okay? Because it's so stupid of that lady to say, go back to Africa. Go back to Europe. Wherever you from, the Caucasus Mountains, where you was in there eating raw meat, and y'all was bamboozling it and unaliving each other. Then you got tired of unaliving each other and decided to go out to African black people. Hold on, let me find that video. Help me, Lord, find it. I got so much saved. One moment, please. How y'all doing in my chat? I have a video about what I just said. Hold on, I got to find it. No, I showed it already. That's not it. Please, God, I hope I can find that. Why black people? That's about, that ain't what I'm looking for, but that's black history too. Just a moment, please. I love y'all. Give me just a moment. Because we got to get some history up in here. I'll find it later. I just can't find it right now. We're going to discuss some more about this ballroom because I got a couple of videos about that. Then I'm going to look for that video because it talks about black and brown people was already here. So when you tell them to go back somewhere, where we going to go? And if they did come over as slaves from the slave masters and you tell them to go back, you can't do that because they can't send us anywhere. Because they don't even know where they got us from. And we was born here. My mama born here, her mama born here, their grandma born here, their great-great-grandma born here, slave children and all. So where you gonna send them? Think smart. Let's hear something about this ballroom and bunkers.
Hello, my friends. In Berlin,
She's beautiful.
1936, Albert Speer, the Nazi architect, built a ballroom for Adolf Hitler. A grand reception hall behind the Reichskanzlei, or the Chancellery, was marble and light above and a bunker below. They called it the Festsaal mit Wintergarten, or the reception hall with a winter garden. It was a place for ceremony raised on concrete meant for survival. You see, the floor for dancing was the roof of the Vorbunker, or the bunker, and its slab was 1.5 meters thick. Because even power needs somewhere to hide when the sky falls. And that hall, as you probably know, it's gone now. It's erased by war, but its idea lingers that beauty can be built to disguise fear, that spectacle can be a kind of camouflage. And now, nearly a century later, the East Wing of the White House, as you know, is being torn down. It's being razed to make room for another ballroom. But this time it's 90,000 square feet of golden grandeur, 12 times larger than Hitler's. A room so vast, it could practically swallow the old Chancellery whole. And of course they say it's for state dinners, for pageantry, and for pride. But keep this in mind, the East Wing sits above the PEOC, the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, the bunker of the nuclear age, the place built for when everything else fails. And did you know that cameras are barred from the excavation, that staff are warned not to take pictures, that permits were filed after the walls had been taken down? Protocol, the quiet grammar of democracy, was totally skipped. You see, the renter of the people's house, because the president is the renter of the people's house, has knocked down the foundations without even waiting for permission. And okay, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's only marble and chandeliers again. Maybe it's just another room for, I don't know, respectable spectacle, for keeping us dazzled, keeping us twirling, keeping us in awe, while the thread of war, or the threat of war, hums beneath our feet. But I'll tell you something, history has an echo, a ballroom over a bunker, then and now. A symbol of power, pretending it's safety. And when the music starts, my friends, note this, we should listen not to the violins, but to the sound under the floor, the low, unfinished hum of something being built for what they're not yet saying out loud. And I'll be back.
She said what she said, okay? More about the bunkers. Hold on. Donald Trump ain't fooling anyone but himself. MAGA Republicans are elfing a joke. They are an elfing joke. Listen carefully.
When Obama was in office, he took one of the tennis courts at the White House, changed the stripes around, and put up some goals and made himself a basketball court. And then he installed a swing set for his girls. Republicans had a meltdown. Well, Trump is tearing down the East Wing of the White House. Why? For his ballroom. The entire White House with the East Wing is only 55,000 square feet. Well, this ballroom is going to be 90,000 square feet. What's he compensating for? He said that he didn't need permission to demolish, only to build. But originally he said he would never touch the White House. He loved the White House. Well, he's not touching it. He's tearing it down. And he's filed a lawsuit, or had his loyalists file a lawsuit against the Department of Justice over the charges brought against him and the investigations against him. Remember, he was convicted of 34 felonies. But the lawsuit will come across his desk, and he decides whether or not it's paid. He said, isn't that weird? It's coming across my desk, and I decide whether or not it's kind of like I'm paying myself. No, we're paying you. He's going to rip off the Treasury Department right before our eyes. $230 million. Oh, and Jeff Bezos pays a 1.1% tax rate. Just saying. And bologna's $7 a pack. Whew. Well, I've got to go to the dentist. I'd rather have my gums scraped than listen to this shit. When Obama was in office, he took one of the tennis courts.
She's right. When Obama was in office, he took the tennis court, didn't change it, but put a goal in there. So if they wanted to make it back a tennis court, they could. And added swings for his two baby girls, two beautiful young princesses. Yeah. And y'all had a problem with it. But now MAGA ain't running they dick suckers. Why you ain't running your dick suckers now, MAGA? He's tearing up the White House. And you don't have a damn thing to say. Because you're losers. Losers would never stand up for what's right. You're a coward. Come off and in his depends. You're not high from that piss smell? Oh, you like the smell of poop, I forgot. Because you're a shit brain, MAGA. One moment, please. We're going to listen to more about this bunkers. Him demolition the White House, okay? And why he's really doing it.
It's not about the ballroom. He's secretly building a state-of-the-art bunker where the old one is. He's planning on staying in power for the rest of his life. That's why he didn't go through the proper channels. He's trying to create an emergency before the midterms so there will be no voting, and he and his regime will stay in power. And where are those people who fought to keep statues up to preserve history? It's not about the ballroom. He's secretly building a state-of-the-art bunker where the old one is. He's planning on staying in power for the rest of his life. That's why he didn't go through the proper channels. He's trying to create an emergency before the midterms so there will be no voting, and he and his regime will stay in power. And where are those people who fought to keep statues up to preserve history? It's not about the ballroom. He's
MAGA, he want to start a war. Oh, he gonna have somewhere to run and hide, but you won't, baby. He don't care about you. He don't love you. You're pathetic if you even think that man cares anything about you. Your second coming, your savior, Donald Trump. He doesn't care about you. He pity you. He see you as a fool. I pity a fool. One moment, please. So Trump, the wildebeest, is loose. Set him loose in the Arctic Ocean and leave him. Let him be. Drown, B-I-T-C-H.
News. Right now, the Trump administration just announced they are opening the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge for oil drilling. They want to build a gas station on the Arctic Refuge. The Trump administration is driving while looking in a rear view mirror. They only see the fuels of the past, but their destination, the destruction of the wilderness and land that sustains Arctic indigenous people. This isn't about energy dominance. This is about donor dominance. This is exactly what big oil and big gas were hoping for when they donated hundreds of millions of dollars to Trump to get him reelected. Now he is handing them a blank check in the Arctic Refuge. It is a disgrace. Breaking news.
It is a disgrace. Donnie is a disgrace. Just take him out there and leave him. We're tired of him. Leave him out there in the Arctic. He wouldn't survive a day. That pissy depends will be frozen and all. You don't go messing with what people don't blocked off. That means caution. Take him out there and leave him. You want to be nosy? That's something about y'all. I love my white people, but y'all always want to be nosy and go effing with something. The Arctic is not to be messed with. He's going to release something, and he's going to get on his ASS and all those MAGA Republicans. Because I've heard of what's really back there, and we don't want it loose. The white man greed is destroying this country. Trying to strike for oil. You're going to strike for something, and this whole country going to be destroyed. The white man is destroying America. I've been said it, and I'm repeating it. The white man is destroying this country, y'all. One moment, please. I just can't wait till God come. I'm ready for him to come because I'm tired of all of this. Whew, Jesus, be a fence and a vessel. I'm tired. The world is tired. Just a moment, please. So we're going to listen to something about predator, pedo, Epstein. One moment. We're not going to watch the whole video. I'm going to speed it up because we do not have time to watch the whole video.
The 7 biggest revelations of the book. And talk to my friend Tara Palmieri. One of those revelations, before we get to Tara, is
Hold on.
abuse by.
I think she'd be really happy to see that he had to, give up his title.
Nobody's girl.
Let's talk about
Virginia
how they met.
Guthrie's
she was
book.
working at Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
Right? Is that how she met Jeffrey Epstein? Can you take us through that?
Right. So she was working at Mar-a-Lago as a spa attendant. Her father worked there as well. He was a landscaper. And she was 16, and Ghislaine Maxwell saw her from the street because she was outside, from the outside of the spa. And she told the houseman to pull over, who was driving her. And this is Juan, who we actually also interviewed too. He confirmed this whole account from his point of view. And he said she was so skinny and pretty, he knew she'd be back at the house. And Ghislaine said, I can basically make your dreams come true. I can teach you how to be a masseuse. You will be a traveling masseuse. And she said, okay, I'll come.
Hit
She
the
went
like
to the
button.
house, and that was where she was sexually abused by both of them. Ghislaine Maxwell was the one who pulled her panties down, and that was where she spent, that was how she was, that was how she was attacked. And she went back, and everyone says, well, why did she go back? That was all she knew. I mean, and they also threatened her and said that they knew where her brother went to school and not to tell anybody what happened in the house. So there were a lot of different levels to this. She was living in a trailer with her friend at the time. This was very much a class issue. They say that when it is a class story, and the women are more vulnerable and the men are wealthier, not they say, a sex crimes expert, former prosecutor in New York, Deborah Turkheimer, said that they suffer a real credibility deficit, and it's harder for them to prove their case, while powerful men have a credibility inflation. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they go through another form of traumatization, having to tell their story again, and then seeing the world side with those men. And sometimes it can be worse than the abuse itself, when they see the community side with the man, and so, or the abuser. So it's just really hard for a lot of these women, and they tell their stories over and over again. They knock on the doors of justice, banging, banging, banging. They're not open. I mean, even now, Alex Acosta doesn't read the victim statements, but decides that they would have a withering impeachment on the stand from Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers. So he says they're not credible enough, and that's why he gave Epstein a sweetheart deal. You have the state attorneys calling them teen prostitutes, saying there are no
And that
victims
pissed
here.
me off, that they called the Epstein victims teen prostitutes and gave him a sweetheart deal. They were not. They were pimped out by Jeffrey, and Jeffrey Epstein is a pedo. He took advantage of those young women as well himself, doing XUAL things with them. Forced them to have unprotected XUAL with those men. And that was Donald Trump's best friend. Remember that. One moment, please. So we're going to listen to someone that said, as a teen, she flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Now she shares about her childhood. Hold on. Oh, I gotta forward it because we don't have time to watch this long video. This is a long video.
Jean-Luc Brunel, a co-conspirator of Jeffrey's who we know was a major player in modeling, especially during this time period. In June of 2002, Amanda would have been about 17 years old, and at the time, one of the agencies who was representing Amanda was ID Models, owned by Paolo Zampoli, whom she would just a few years later go on to have a romantic relationship and a child with. And I'm so curious about the circumstances that led Amanda to be in the situation that she is in today, because there's really such little information about her online. There's a lot of gaps in her timeline between modeling in Brazil to coming to the United States, modeling in Florida and New York City, or Paolo Zampoli to being on a plane with Jeffrey and Jean-Luc Brunel, to having a child with Paolo, to becoming a UN ambassador, and to now be in jail in Florida for a felony charge on an immigration hold. So you're probably wondering, how did a United Nations ambassador get arrested for a felony charge, and how can they be deported? In June of this year, Amanda Ngaro was arrested in Miami for practicing medicine without a license, grand theft, and organized scheme to defraud. She was arrested alongside a man who is a licensed physician in Brazil, but he is not licensed in any way, shape, or form in the United States. These two were allegedly running an unlicensed medical facility in Miami, and according to court documents, these two were performing liposuction, Botox, filler, ear surgeries, laser procedures, and backside injections. These two were also allegedly acquiring prescription medication illegally to give to their patients as well. In a complaint made against these two, I guess a woman went in and received 17 syringes of filler when that's not what she asked for, and was asked to pay $15,000 after her appointment, despite the fact that she didn't ask for that much filler. Days of her appointment, all of her filler had hardened in her lips, her jaw, and her cheek. We went back where Amanda allegedly dissolved her filler, but this procedure ultimately didn't work, and this woman had to go to get help from a plastic surgeon to get the hardened filler out of her face. I don't know what the status of Amanda is right now. I don't know if she's in a jail in Florida. I don't know if she's been moved to an immigration detention facility in Florida. I don't know if she has been deported with or without her son. And while of course I do not defend Amanda for running a illegal medical facility and harming people, I do find it interesting that in 2018, Amanda tried to leave this relationship with Paolo, and she tried to take her son with her. As of June 2025, when the files started to be discussed again, Amanda is now in prison or no longer in the country. Something about all of this feels super off to me. So what's really interesting to me about Paolo Zampoli's social media, really since about 2022, 2023, there has been kind of like a phase out of Amanda on his social media, less postings with Amanda, etc. And there are recent photos of them together, like this is a fairly recent photo of them together with Matt Gaetz. But there's also a plethora of photos of Paolo with other women looking very comfortable with them throughout his social media. But even as he posts photos with other women, Amanda is still seen going to events with him, being a family with them, etc., etc. But over the past year or so, we're starting to see photos of her face being like partially cropped out. Here's another photo where he cropped out Amanda from just a few months before she was arrested. I want to show you Paolo's social media from the beginning of June to like when she was arrested and put on an immigration hold to be deported. How you would never guess that anything's going wrong at all. In fact, he seems to be on vacation and celebrating along with his son and no Amanda. Okay, so here we are at the beginning of the month. Here is Paolo on June 4th with a bunch of other women. And keep in mind, Amanda is arrested in Miami on June 18th of 2025. So we're gonna go up. And this was a gift that he gave to Donald Trump for like his birthday or something. So we're at June 16th. And then we go to June 17th. So that's the day before Amanda is arrested. And then nothing until June 20th. And he's posting with Pam Bondi. And then he's just posting normal for the rest of the month. Like nothing's going on, not even just for the rest of the month, for the rest of like until present time.
What I noticed, Donald Trump is affiliated with a lot of criminals. He met Melania Trump at that man's, allegedly, at his party at the Kit Kat Club. Who would go to a club called the Kit Kat Club? That tells you a lot. But Wolf, Epstein's biographer and Donald Trump's biographer, said that Epstein was the one to introduce Melania to Donnie boy. And then Donnie makes up a lie and said Melania Trump is a supermodel. Name one runway she's been on. Oh, she did news. She modeled and did nude photography, and it was all over the internet, all over the Russian news. Putin put it all out there. But she never, ever, 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 ever was a runway model like Naomi Campbell, Giselle Buckham, or whatever, however you say her name. Never. Tyra Banks, never. Melania was a nude model. And Donnie made up the lie. And MAGA bought it that she was a supermodel. We'd never seen her on the cover of any supermodel magazines. She finally got on the cover of magazines when she was in the White House with old Dumpy. Dookie Diaper. The lies they tell America to make Donnie look good and make his horrible wife and a ho-ho-ho and a Merry Christmas look good. Ho-ho-ho and a Merry Christmas to Donnie and Melania. Merry Christmas, y'all. Coming real soon. One moment, please. Just a moment. So as I told y'all, Donnie Boy wants to sue our girl Nancy Pelosi. But she got some words to say. Because this shutdown is not good for us.
Trump is effectively shutting down the House of Representatives. And why?
Because they don't want to extend healthcare tax credits to working Americans.
You're going to be facing extraordinary increases in your premiums.
Because when any American is uninsured, we all end up spending more.
It'll be unaffordable. Doesn't have to be that way.
Our job is to keep America moving.
My Democratic colleagues and I are ready to go to work.
Democrats are ready to work with Republicans.
Ready to save health care.
Democrats are going to stand up for the health care of Americans.
Republicans, you've been on vacation for far too long.
Speaker Johnson.
Speaker Johnson. Speaker Mike Johnson. It's time for us to do our jobs.
Reopen government.
Open up government.
We need to reopen the government.
And on terms that save your health care and end those cuts. Stay tuned.
Donald Trump is effectively shutting down the House of Representatives.
But he blames the Democrats when the Republican, MAGA Republicans have the Senate, the House, and they got a MAGA Republican sitting in the Oval Office. There's no way you can blame the Democrats. You're fake. More about this Epstein birthday card too, y'all. Hold on a moment. Then we're going to get out of here. Mama tired. I have no more breast milk to give y'all tonight. Little kittens, you won't get fed any more breast milk, okay? One moment, please. The book that wasn't supposed to exist, Epstein's birthday book. The one Donnie says not true.
There's a story about halfway through the Epstein birthday book, written in a child's handwriting, which seems to be titled Uncle F Makes Potty. And it's about a grown man who doesn't know how to use a potty, who defecates on the floor. This story, written by a child, is possibly the most tasteful story in the Epstein birthday book, which was released by the House Oversight Committee last week. I'm not sure if Uncle F was supposed to be Jeffrey Epstein. The handwriting isn't great, and it might be an E rather than an F. But if the story was about Epstein, it highlights how in this book, which was written by his friends and given to him as a birthday gift, almost every story referred to him doing something revolting. I should point out early on that this video is not really appropriate for younger viewers, as I'll be talking about politicians, business leaders, royals, and other ne'er-do-wells. Look, I've signed a number of birthday cards over the years, the kind that gets passed around at an office, and you don't always know the person it's for very well. I've usually written, "Happy birthday, hope you have a great day," or something like that. I might make a joke if I thought that the person would appreciate it. Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book is nothing like that. There were a few polite messages in there. There was a nice note from his mom, for example. But things go downhill very, very quickly. This wasn't exactly a birthday card either. It was 238 pages long for one thing, and bound in leather. It appears to have been printed in 3 volumes, probably because of its length, and it was titled The First 50 Years. It was put together by Epstein's now jailed co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell in 2003 as a 50th birthday gift, and it contained messages from billionaires, politicians, Nobel Prize winners, childhood friends, former girlfriends, and a wide circle of Epstein's elite acquaintances. One contributor, the industrialist and Epstein art advisor Stuart Piver, is credited by news sources for writing a limerick about Epstein that sums up the overall tone of the book. It ends, though up to no good, whenever he could, has avoided the penitentiary. Among the contributors were people like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and the UK's recently sacked ambassador to the United States, Lord Mandelson. The book was created 3 years before Epstein's first abuse allegations became public, but many of its entries suggest that his behavior was an open secret and a source of entertainment for his friends. President Trump initially claimed that the Wall Street Journal made up the book when they wrote about it a few weeks ago, calling it non-existent and fake. He even launched a $20 billion defamation lawsuit against the newspaper, its publisher, and its owner, Rupert Murdoch, who also owns Fox News, a network that's been credited with the rise of President Trump and which is generally supportive of him. This book might never have surfaced if it wasn't for people like jdvance asking, "Where is this letter?" on the Everything app, formerly known as Twitter. Even after the House Oversight Committee released a scan of the book this week, complete with Trump's sketch and signature, the White House, who are possibly taking PR advice from Prince Andrew, continues to claim that the book is a forgery and fake news, released to perpetuate the Democrat Epstein hoax. The book turns out to be much worse than many expected, not just for Trump, but for everyone associated with Epstein. While the birthday book has gotten the most press, it wasn't the only document released by the House Oversight Committee. There's a copy of Epstein's will, a copy of the 2007 non-prosecution agreement, and entries from his address book. On top of all of this, on Thursday, Bloomberg News published an article about the trove of 18,000 personal emails from and to Jeffrey Epstein that they got access to. Those emails contain sometimes chilling details about how Epstein lived and his partnership with Ghislaine Maxwell. The birthday book and other documents raise even more questions about Epstein's influence and how widely known his behavior was amongst his friends and associates. I've read the entire birthday book so that you don't have to. So let's go through what we've learned about Epstein and his associates who contributed to the book, and why this is not just political or a celebrity scandal, and how it actually matters. Before we dig into that, let me tell you about this week's video sponsor, Surfshark. Surfshark has been my...
We're going to cut it there because I'm not going to do all the advertisement. The point is, the book is real. The drawing, Donald Trump can keep trying to deny it. That's his signature. I'm sorry, Mecca, but that's his signature. Grow up. That's Danny Boy's signature. Danny, the compulsive liar. We know the truth if it's still right in front of his face. Jesus Christ can come down and stand right in his face. He still will lie. It's in him to lie. He's a compulsive liar, a lunatic. Like he said, the Democrats are lunatics. No, Danny, you're the only lunatic. You don't even know what day it is. You can't remember names. A person could be sitting right in front of you, and you will be looking for that person. We saw it with our own eyes. How pathetic. Anyway, y'all, I think that's all that I have for my beautiful kings and queens. Ooh, wait a minute. I want y'all to listen. Well, I may say this because it said Jeffrey Epstein planned to marry his goddaughter. Do y'all want to listen to that? Put in the chat if y'all want to listen to Jeffrey Epstein planned to marry his goddaughter. Does anybody want to hear that? I don't care if y'all want to now. I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to play a little bit of it, okay? And we're not going to watch the whole video. We're not.
Jeffrey, because it is a perfect example of how wealthy and powerful people enable. I remember a couple of days ago when I was asking, who's this child on Jeffrey's lap that is seemingly asleep on his private plane? Well, I think I figured it out. Jeffrey took a special interest into Eva and Glenn's firstborn daughter, Selena Dubin. Eva and Glenn made Jeffrey the godfather of all three of their children, and they would refer to him as Uncle Jeffrey. Jeffrey was a frequent flyer for years in the Dubin home, often staying with the family for extended periods of time. Jeffrey was regularly in attendance for the Dubin family's Thanksgiving dinners. Eva and Glenn would often take her children and travel to Jeffrey's Palm Beach mansion, or just go on other lavish vacations with Jeffrey and their children. Flight logs show that Eva and Glenn were often traveling on Jeffrey's private plane with their three young children. And if we look at the flight logs from the early to mid 2000s, while knowing this photo was also taken in the early to mid 2000s, plus the age that this little girl appears to be, if we take it all into account, it is very likely that that little girl was Selena Dubin, Glenn and Eva Dubin's oldest daughter. And it could even be argued that this little boy here, Jordan Dubin, Selena's brother, is the little boy who is censored in the background of this photo. I would put money on this little girl being Selena Dubin. Before Virginia Giuffre passed away, she was very outspoken about the Dubins. In 2021, she shared an article that was highlighting the Dubins' involvement with Jeffrey. In this tweet, she calls the Dubins co-conspirators and predators. People began to ask Virginia what she meant by this. She shared this tweet stating that Glenn and Eva allowed Selena to receive nude massages on Uncle Jeffrey's balcony at just 6 or 7 years old. On pages 44 and 45 of Virginia's memoir, she goes into depth about her experience with the Dubin family. Virginia shares that the Dubins were some of the first clients that Ghislaine assigned her to massage after Virginia had passed her trial run with Jeffrey. I did a video a few days ago talking about how Virginia was recruited at Mar-a-Lago by Ghislaine and was SA'd by Ghislaine and Jeffrey the same day that she was recruited from Mar-a-Lago. Virginia recalled massaging both Glenn and Eva. Eva was pregnant at the time, likely with their youngest daughter. Virginia also recalled that the Dubins had two other children that were staying there at Jeffrey's Palm Beach mansion. Virginia goes on to share how after she was done massaging Eva and Glenn, Eva stood up and left the room, and Glenn proceeded to take advantage of Virginia. Virginia recalled being confused on how a pregnant wife could be okay with what was happening. She also couldn't reckon how Glenn could do this so shamelessly while his pregnant wife and children were just in the next room. Virginia's recollections of the Dubin family, of Glenn taking advantage of her, of Eva being okay with it, of both of them being okay with their little girl being preyed upon by her creepy Uncle Jeffrey, become even more disturbing when we take a closer look at some of the photos that were put into evidence of the raids of Jeffrey's homes. As you guys probably remember, we have seen photos of boxes of VHSs being pulled out of Jeffrey's home, as well as dozens of CDs and discs. This has long been thought to be part of Jeffrey's collection of photos and videos of children being harmed, as well as blackmail. But if we look closely at one of the discs that was taken into evidence, we can very clearly see that it says Selena AV Shoot 2, and it's dated 8/12. If photos and videos of Selena are on this disc, and it was filmed or photographed in August of 2012, Selena would have been about 16 years old. Something notable that involves Selena is internet sleuths. I can't take credit for this. Internet sleuths, right around the time when Jeffrey passed away, were able to find and confirm that this account was authentically Jeffrey's Spotify account. And if we take a look at Jeffrey's playlist, we can see that there's a whole playlist called Selena, and it contains a lot of pop music that a teenager might enjoy, as well as quite a few suggestive songs. Not songs that I would ever want my uncle to send me. Certainly not songs that I would ever want my uncle to listen to and think of me. Now, this next piece of information is completely damning. Any parents out there, just brace yourself. This might get you a little worked up. 2009, when it came time for Jeffrey to go in front of the probation board, Glenn and Eva wrote Jeffrey a glowing letter for the probation board to read. In this letter, they state, "We are the parents of 3 children. They are all under the age of 18. I am aware that Jeffrey is a registered offender and had to plead guilty for soliciting and procuring children for a word I can't say. I am 100% comfortable with Jeffrey around my children. When Selena turned 18, about 4 years before Jeffrey's demise, he created a $50 million trust that named Selena as the beneficiary. According to sources that were close to Jeffrey, Jeffrey began to talk about wanting to marry her and wanting her to inherit his island. According to the Dubin family, so take it with a grain of salt, Selena was removed from that $50 million trust just before Jeffrey's second arrest. While we don't have the financial records to prove that, we do have the financial records to prove that in the mid to late 2000s, Eva was diagnosed and survived breast cancer, which prompted Eva and Glenn to create the Dubin Breast Center at Mount Sinai Medical Center, a hospital that Glenn is a trustee of. We also have the financial records to prove that in 2013, Eva Dubin created a fund called the Selena Dubin United Fund. And this fund was created so that Jeffrey could donate to the Dubin Breast Center at Mount Sinai Medical Center under the radar, because it certainly wouldn't look too good on the Dubins' part to be receiving and accepting donations from a man who was sitting pretty on the registry. Let's wrap this up. So the Dubins, like Jeffrey, have very strong ties to Harvard. The Dubin family has given Harvard a $5 million donation and helped them establish the Harvard Kennedy School in 2010. So the Dubins sent all three of their children to Harvard, right? Well, we know Jeffrey was giving hefty donations to Harvard beginning in the late 90s. And in 2005, for some reason, Jeffrey was appointed a visiting fellow in Harvard's Department of Psychology. Even after Jeffrey was convicted and placed on the registry, Harvard still allowed Jeffrey to have key card access. They allowed him to use office space. They allowed him to listen in on classes and mingle with the students. He basically had unfettered access to the campus, despite the fact that he was on the registry. In 2008, the president of Harvard at the time announced that they would no longer be accepting any financial donations from Jeffrey. So Jeffrey began donating directly to professors and their research funds for him to continue to have unrestricted access of campus. I'm sure you guys know one of the very big fish in this whole case is Alan Dershowitz, who was a professor of law at Harvard and a close friend and associate of Jeffrey for many, many years. Alan Dershowitz has been O.J. Simpson's defense attorney, Harvey Weinstein's defense attorney, our sitting president's defense attorney. Let's not forget who represented Jeffrey in his sweetheart deal. Who was his attorney? Alan Dershowitz. And let's remember, when Alan Dershowitz was negotiating that sweetheart deal and getting immunity for unnamed accomplices of Jeffrey, he was getting immunity for himself, because Alan Dershowitz is all over the flight logs and has been accused by multiple victims of harming them. You get the picture. Both the Dubin family and Jeffrey deeply intertwined within Harvard. I point this out because, can you imagine having parents like Eva and Glenn that for the entirety of your childhood, they have you in the presence of a creepy old man who is looking at you lustfully, and you finally get a chance to break free and go to college, and that same creepy old man has unrestricted access to your campus, and your parents know it. At every turn, Eva and Glenn chose to put their
Jeffrey Epstein is a creep. Donald Trump is a creep. Donald Trump called Jeffrey Epstein, his best friend, a creep. Donnie, you are a creep as well. Epstein's not a creep by himself. Not at all, Donald Trump. You're one too, buddy. And it's quite baffling to me that Melania Trump never wants you touching her. Every time you would try to touch her, I showed the videos here on my channel. No AI, baby. Real. She will move your hand away and she will look mad. And that's a marriage? She's not happily married. She married you for the money. Because it's not your looks, baby. Must be the cash because it's not your face. Church girl, don't hurt nobody. It's been fun tonight, you guys. I have enjoyed you all. I'm going to read a couple of y'all comments and then we're going to get up out of here. It is the weekend, baby. Yeah. I'm going to let my hair down and relax. Okay. Oh, Alan getting somebody. Linda said, hi, is His Epstein ballroom going. How is his Epstein ball? Oh, he trying to do. Girl, queen, I don't know what to tell you, Linda Jones. It's a hot ghetto mess. It's going to be a bunch of gold plating everywhere, I tell you that. Lillian Reynolds says, all who defends Trump, what you going to do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. Oh, yeah, you're going to suffer even worse because you voted for this. If this isn't evil, then what is it, MAGA? Thank you, Queen Lillian Reynolds. We got the same name. I'm Lily and she's Lillian. We're Lilith in the Bible. That name, Lily, they would say Lilith. Liliana in Spanish. Let's see what else. Hold on, beautiful kings and queens. Somebody removed that comment, okay. Hot darn steak and fries. Okay, I don't know what that's about. They be putting stuff in this chat. I'm not even going to bother to read because it's crazy. So Vandy Griffin says, yeah, I remember that. Okay, I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all own conversations, and I love that. Continue having y'all own conversations. I love all of y'all. Heather Legacy said, I don't get force-fed misinformation like you guys. And if that makes me dumb, cool. I know what I believe is my beliefs, not what some influencer or celebrity told me to think. Okay, you entitled to your opinion, you know. But I run this castle. I'm the queen over here. All y'all are kings and queens, but this is my castle, my channel. But thank you for your beautiful thoughts, you know. I ain't mad at you, girl. Do you? But you ain't gonna run my channel. Eric Klein says, Mossad operations, okay. Do you want to meet me on the playground? I don't know. Who are you talking to? Tell me, do you want to meet me on the playground? Boy, you want to meet me on the playground, you get your tail whipped by a black woman. I'm sorry. I'm strong. I'm going to wear you out. I'm going to take it back to slavery and do to you what they did to my ancestors, okay? Heather going off. Lord have mercy, Heather. Ooh, queen, calm down. Ooh. And Heather said somebody definitely sits in his mom's basement playing COD all day eating Hot Pockets. Lord, what is going on in my chat? Who are y'all talking about? Don't come for my moderator, Alan. King Alan. Don't come for him. I love him. That's my boy. He takes care of me. He's like my top. Chief J. Ben said, I love Trump. Help some of you pull your mask off. Well, then if that's the case, honey, then won't he have ICE pull that mask off, honey? Explain that, please. Because they're J6ers, KKK, Proud Boys, criminals. Those Proud Boys. The ICE people got bad criminal backgrounds. Abusing women, essay and all kind of stuff. Honey, tell them to remove their masks because we got the gigs on them, honey. They criminals. A vast majority of them are criminals. Nothing to do. There she is. Hello, baby. How you doing? Tasha Garrett says, thank you, Queen Tasha. Blessings to you tonight, Queen. Thank you. I love you. I love all of you. Y'all are going off. I'm reading these comments. Y'all are tearing it. Y'all don't beat each other up like this. Come on, spread love. Spread love. Lord, I ain't reading no more y'all comments. When I tell you y'all are beating each other, let's spread love. Because love goes much more further than hate. Hate would destroy you, cause wrinkles, cause your hair to fall out. Spread love in my chat. I love y'all. I will see y'all Monday. Only way I will go live this weekend if Donnie does something real out of hand. Because, you know, Donald Trump stays doing craziness because, you know, it has been alleged that his frontal dementia is kicking in because his father had frontal dementia. So, in my opinion, I think he's Looney Tune. He's a lunatic. But anyway, If he does something just crazy and is a big story, I'm going to come live this weekend. But more than likely, I see my beautiful kings and queens. I will see y'all Monday. All right, all right, all right. Good night. I love you. Bye.